Hello and welcome to Chaoticus TV. My name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and we got with us today members of a great Southern California Kiss tribute band. You might not know by looking because these guys do not wear makeup, and I was invited to see them perform at the Garden Amp in Garden Grove, California a few weeks back. I think February 17th to be exact, was a Saturday night. I got invited by my friend Gar Boris, who I understand some of you guys know. He's the lead singer of the Guns N' Roses tribute that played that night, Appetite for Destruction. And I got to tell you, if memory serves me, I think you guys went on first. I think it was about 4:30 in the afternoon. And once I got past the fact that you guys are a Kiss tribute and you don't play, you don't wear the grease paint or the makeup, I just concentrating on your performance. I was quite impressed. So let's first of all talk about how the band first got together and the decision not to wear makeup, because that does make you stand out.
Well, Ken, do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
You start and then I'll pick it up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so how this whole thing got started was Rob, Billy, and I had been in a previous band, and we were just doing a whole bunch of different covers and stuff. Okay. And we had a whole gamut of, of course, Kiss, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Great White, and all this kind of other stuff. And what we always kind of realized is that the Kiss tunes were always kind of like in the wheelhouse, man, and they just seemed to really, kind of project a lot better than everything else.
Mike, let me ask you real quick before you go any further. On that note, would you say you guys are necessarily like real super kind of diehard Kiss fans, or just once you realized that you had the ability or an act to play the Kiss songs, did you kind of become more of a fan of the music?
No, we've all been. Go ahead.
We're all Kiss fans. We all
Yeah. Since we were kids. Since we were kids, we're big
Yeah.
Kiss fans. Yeah.
My very first concert I ever went to.
Yeah.
My very first concert I went to was a Kiss concert with our original guitar player Alan Alves when we were 14 years old in '77. Yeah. So that was my first concert, and that was crazy. Cheap Trick opened for him. It was the Live 2.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And and when it was crazy was when we first got there and we're like, trying to absorb it all, and Cheap Trick is playing, we're like, these guys are phenomenal. This is great. Kiss has messed up. They put the wrong band opening for them. These guys are going to blow Kiss off the stage. These guys are incredible. I can't believe how good these are. And then Kiss come on the stage and it was like, oh my God, these guys are they're crazy. So our brains were
for me. For me, my first concert was Dynasty. So that was my first concert. That was a great show too.
That was interesting. That's kind of what people at the time were considering the comeback tour, and it turned out to be the final tour with Peter. People a lot of had love-hate for like I Was Made for Loving You. That's one I really love though. But a lot of going on in the Kiss world in 1979.
Yeah.
And so Mike, let's get back to you, Mike, about the decision once you guys decide you're going to be a Kiss tribute. Not to wear makeup.
It was kind of a work in progress because that band kind of dissolved. And everybody just kind of went their separate ways and stuff like that. And Kenny and I had kind of been seeing each other around, and we'd actually like jam some Kiss stuff. I would come up and do some Kiss songs with different bands and stuff like that. And me and Kenny were sitting, I remember it, we were sitting at the Black Watch pub, and we'd been talking about possibly doing a Kiss thing. And we actually went out and did a couple little shows, right, Kenny? Just doing some Kiss songs with different people and this and that. Billy, I think you were one of them too, right?
Yeah, we did with Billy. We did a couple of we did one gig at Happy's, and cool. And then somehow, somewhere along the line, somebody said, "Hey, we're going to do an album night at this venue." and we're going to have different bands show up, and they're going to play an album from a band. Like
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And it was
right.
I don't know. I mean, tributes were around at that point, but it wasn't really big. This was like 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, we said, hey, let's do Kiss, and we'll do a live. We'll do the first disc of the Alive album.
All right.
And so we started putting it together, and it was going pretty good. But the guy we had playing drums just was not getting it. He was playing it in his style, and he wasn't hitting all the stuff. And Mike said, hey, I got a guy who's a giant Kiss fan and can play drums, and let's get him. And so I was like, sure, let's give it a try. So anyway, we got Rob. Rob came in, one band practice, and we're like, that's it. We got it.
Wow. Yeah, because the whole Kiss thing, this whole thing was kind of pretty much going to be like a one and done.
Wow.
Because we were just going to go out and do a whole Kiss set at a place, and we rehearsed and everything else. And we had another guy. It was like 2 days before the show. And this is hilarious because Rob was on tour with his original band or set to go on a tour.
Wow.
Because I asked Rob first, and Rob goes, I can't do it, bro. I'm going on tour, and I just don't have the time for it. I was like, we just wanted to kill it, right? So we were, doing this whole thing with this other guy, and Kenny calls me after the last rehearsal we had with this other guy and goes, dude, this guy's not doing it, man. This guy's not doing it. And I'm like, oh man, I said, I know. And without even knowing, Billy calls me after I talked to Kenny, without even knowing that they both called me. And they said, Billy calls me, and Billy, trust me, Billy is the guy. He's doesn't say anything, about anybody. He just loves to play, right, Bill?
Yeah, that's it.
So if Billy's calling me, something's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Billy goes, hey, dude, tonight, just, I don't know, man. I don't know. So I was like, yeah, okay. And I told him, I said, hey, that's funny, because Kenny just called me. I just got off the phone with Kenny, so we have to figure this out. And I think it was like a Wednesday. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, we cannot go out there, because we had hyped it up. It was going to be this thing, man. We hyped it up, and it was going to be a blast. And a lot of people were excited about it, thank God. And I said, you know what, man, let me just give Rob a call, man. Just let me call Rob.
Yeah.
So I called Rob. Hey, man, what's up? How you doing? And I said, hey, so what's going on? Where the tour are you at? And he goes, something happened, and we're not going to go right now. And I went, automobile, right?
Wow, Rob. So I got to ask you, Rob, take the story from there.
Yeah.
I mean, once you knew that the other band wasn't going to take a break or whatever, or they weren't going to go on tour anymore, were you kind of did you know right away? Okay, I really want to do this Kiss thing.
Well, yeah. Well, Mike's I grew up with Mike. He's like my best friend. And if he asks me to do something, I usually go, yeah, hell yeah, I'll do whatever, And I had the time to do it, and it's playing Kiss. I love Kiss, and I already pretty much know the song. So we went in there and practiced one day. I think we practiced one day, and then the show was that weekend, right?
Yeah.
And that was it. And
so I talked to Rob, and I said, hey, dude, this guy, man, just it's not going to happen. And man, we don't even know if we should even go forward with it, because we just don't want this to be a train wreck, because we're actually trying to bring it out as something special. And he goes, well, dude, this tour thing isn't going to happen. I was like, oh my God, no. I said, dude, would you please come down tomorrow? He's all, yeah, sure. So I said, dude, okay, then I scrambled. I said, let me call Kenny, let me call Billy, let me call Alan, and see if we can get a rehearsal tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I scrambled, made it work, called Kenny, everybody.
Yeah.
Says, dude, Rob can come out tomorrow. Can we all do this? Everybody says, yes, let's do this, right?
Yeah.
So we get to rehearsal, and because we all know each other. We're all from the same circle. So we get in there, and we start, doing our thing, and we start playing. And I kid you not, it must have been, I want to say, maybe even the first half of the first song, maybe the second song that we started doing. Kenny turns and looks to me and went,
You guys remember what that? Do you remember what that song was? What the song was?
I think I
probably
Stole Your
Deuce
Love
or something.
Yeah.
Well, I Stole Your Love.
Could have been that.
Okay, yeah.
We were
Deuce
playing a
or I Stole
live
Your Love.
one, so it was probably Deuce, and we got through with Deuce, and as soon as we finished that, Rob started the intro for Strutter.
Yeah. And then we just kind of,
And we're like,
we all kind of looked at each other and went,
Yeah, I gotta tell you guys, having just seen you the one time at the Garden Amp on February 17th, but one thing that was immediately like, just that I kind of picked up on was the vibe, the chemistry of the whole band. I mean, the whole band was on fire on stage, and it seemed like I enjoyed it so much that the set was like over before I knew it, And you guys, I could feel how tight you are, and maybe it's the fact that you guys know each other from before. You're good friends, where as opposed to guys that never played together. You don't. I can't stand playing with this guy, but we got to do this, to make a living.
no, you know what? You know what the key is to this band? We go out and we have fun, and we want the people to come out and see us to have fun.
Now, Mike, on that level, I got to ask you. Now, first of all, another thing I noticed at the gig, and even I don't know if you put it on, but especially the day at the gig. I mean, just your talking voice, talking in, between the songs. If I close my eyes, actually, and I swore Paul Stanley was on the stage. I mean, you got his talking voice down, you got the singing voice down, you got it all.
You tell me. But again, it was one of those things when we were in the other band that it just seemed to come automatically. And it just worked. And, because I mean, seriously, I go places like to see other bands to support because, you got to support the local music. Because it's out there. So one of the biggest requests, and I was telling Kenny, was yesterday, Ken, I said, I think I'm going to have shirts made. Yeah. Because people always want me to say, how you doing, people?
I think it's almost like when you hit the stage, you morph into your Paul Stanley, if you will. Because
I do. I get to become this other, and believe it or not, yeah is a Kiss word.
I've heard even Al Cooper talk about how he gets into character. He preps himself as he's going on stage. Okay, I'm going to become Alice now, for the next 90 minutes.
I'm
who I really am when I come off stage.
And that's what it is.
If you circle on back to your original question, and your original observation, we're out there having fun, and you're like, you can
feel it.
And you said you noticed that you could say, hey, you guys look like you're having fun out there, and we are, and it's a certain camaraderie between us. And you'll notice before we even start the set, we will all gather around the drum set, and we'll put a fist in, and Rob will give us a pep talk right before we and then we'll launch into the song. And we've done that. We did that at the very first show, and now it's just become a tradition. So it's part of it's a magic thing that's going on between us. So
that's cool. Now, so Rob, you're kind of like the cheerleader, the one that gets the band all pepped up. A lot of these, I'm just curious. A lot of the speeches, a little pep talks, but this and there. A lot of it is kind of just unscripted on the cuff, or do you really take it serious to the point where I got to write it down? I'm going to get it all prepared.
No, it's a little of both. It's on what the day's like that day, and also sometimes I'll throw in like the history of that day, of that day, what happened this day, or to motivate us. Maybe a war was won or something, but something that we're gonna take control of that stage and just put the best show we can on.
Is that something you kind of just said, I'm going to do this, or did it kind of fall on you, or did you get chosen as a?
Well, I guess some people do the tribute thing, and it's cool and all that. They do it, it's their job. but for us, this is like a real band. Like,
Yeah, it really is.
we really,
And
it
again,
feels
getting
like a
back
real
to my
band for
original
us.
thought of being a Kiss tribute, it's not too common not wearing the makeup. And it doesn't, and I quickly, like after, a few seconds of the first song, whatever it was that day, realized it doesn't even matter. They're just that good.
Thank
So,
you for saying that.
yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah,
That is cool.
and another thing that, kind of going all the way back to you were saying, when did you guys decide to wear makeup? And then there was never a
meeting
initial
or anything. Yeah.
conscious decision. Yeah, when we did this album night thing, we just did it as ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we got a few more gigs, and then people started asking us, hey, why don't you guys put the makeup on? And we had all these like obstacles. First of all, there's 5 of us in the band. We have another guitar player who's not here. And so how does that work? We have 2 Ace Frehley's and Paul Stanley's not playing guitar. Billy's got, this, and Rob's got a beard, and Mike's got a beard. And how are we going to do this, And so it's like, wait a minute, at that point, we'd seen a bunch of other tribute bands with the makeup on, and God bless them, it's cool, but they don't look like Kiss.
It's something you don't really need, apparently. And I mean, it works for you. It does make you guys stand out from the rest, I think. And on that note, let me ask you, because again, you just brought this up, Ken. Another thing I noticed right away is typically when you go see most Kiss tribute bands, that the bass player does all the Gene songs, and the guy playing the lead guitar does all the Ace Frehley songs, and vice versa. And that's another thing I noticed right away. Okay, Mike's sing. It doesn't matter if it's a Paul Stanley song or a Gene Simmons song. Mike takes the vocals on all the songs, and that's something that kind of makes you guys stand out too. Is that just the fact that Mike's the best singer in the band, or just that we only need one singer, or how did that kind of?
How are you going to get anybody else but Mike to sing the song?
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you.
Yeah, I've always felt that the thing with this band is, and which is why I stick with it, is we're just Kiss fans that love playing Kiss songs. Like Kenny was saying, we have friends that do a lot of tribute bands. Some are Kiss, and I love watching. I have friends that are in really good tribute bands, and it's cool to watch. But I don't feel that way. Like if I had to start doing the Gene moves, because they don't come naturally to me. If I had to do all that, it would be more work, and we're just, like they said, we all started as kids that became, I was the Paul Lynn Halloween special kind of guy. That was my introduction to Kiss. And
yeah.
so
Midnight
we just have
Special.
so much fun, just
like
playing the
my friend
songs.
Gar Boris, who I told you is the lead singer of Appetite for Destruction. He takes what he does so seriously. He's telling me, he says, I still to myself, he says, I don't feel like I got Axl 100% down, but I really study, I really study the moves, and I'm getting to the point, but I'm not 100% there just yet. But I'm always trying to kind of improve what I do before I hit the
Yeah, and I
stage.
feel like that's what makes a good tribute band. Like I said, my friends are in really good ones. They're almost like acting at the same time. They're in character.
Yeah.
And I love watching the really good ones, but I don't see that I could do that, or maybe it's just not what I want. So the fact that these guys gave me an opportunity, we all get along great, which is a huge thing. I see so many bands with drama, and we have none of that. And it's like, it's just so much fun playing these songs. And the fact that we still give the vibe of the early 70s. We didn't get to do it at the Garden App, but we got, smoking guitar, and we find to do some of the moves and the pyros that we can do on our own, confetti cannons and all that.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's a blast.
I would say, Billy, out of everybody in the band, you probably do look like the most, like one of the band. To me, you kind of remind, even today, the way you're dressed, like kind of revenge era Gene.
Oh yeah.
And so,
yeah. And like I said before, the people that are putting on the makeup and everything, that looks great and everything, but we're going to be older guys, a little overweight, in leotards, in wigs, and makeup, and it's kind of a thing at that point. So we really, really put the work and the effort into sounding exactly as close as we can to way the music sounds. And
thumbs up, guys. Yeah,
Ruby
mission
does the
accomplished.
same thing on the vocals. Ruby spends all that time not only on the singing part, but on the rap in between. Like you noticed, we try. If you close your eyes, like you said, you feels like you're at the Live One concert.
Yeah. And I gotta bring this up because another reason I want to do the show today. Another thing I really picked up on that performance that I loved I don't know why Kiss themselves or anybody else, any other Kiss tributes never thought of this, but I love throwing the Hershey Kisses out into the audience. I'd love to hear how that got started.
Well, we and this is you know what, I got to give her a shout out because she's gonna see this. And my roommate, we did a show. When was it? Was it December? We played Boomers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, we always try to just come up with just different things to keep us separate from everybody. And of course, even now, like, aside from the makeup and everything else,
Sure.
and, to
Yeah,
guitar
something,
players.
right? Keep them coming.
So we always try to make people just always want to go, oh man,
How did they do
wow,
that?
room service did this last time.
Yeah,
Room
yeah.
service did that.
Yeah.
And so
Hey,
I was
Mike,
like trying to,
Mike?
yes.
Yeah, I kind of brought these along, and I wanted to show you them. Along with the Hershey Kisses thing, we have personalized picks, and
Yeah.
they change from event to event.
Wow.
So here's one for the swap meet. It's got the room service logo. It was on around the 4th of July. So we'll have like specialized picks made for not each show, but quite a few of the shows. Here's one from a House of Blues on one of our early shows. So
Ooh, yeah.
we've got all of these different picks, and we throw them out to the audience, and lo and behold, we've got people that collect these things.
So now let me ask you,
because
Ken.
we tell them, hey, we're going to have a new pick out, and they'll show up and want to come to the show. And like Billy also mentioned too, is you didn't really see the show. We came out and we played some songs.
And I was still impressed with what I saw, yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we've got the smoking guitar, we got CO2 jets, we've got confetti, we've got a confetti shooting love gun, we've got Billy shoots flame balls out of his guitar. We've got more to the show that we didn't bring because you wouldn't have been able to see it in the daytime.
Sure, yeah.
So
I'll just have to come see you guys again now. I love the fact too, how hard was it picking like room service? I know a lot of this set is based around the early Kiss, but
So
I love the
real
fact
quick, Jay, can I go back to your question?
Sure.
So the Hershey's Kisses thing was the brainchild of my roommate.
Okay, yeah.
She brought home bags of Hershey's Kisses, and she goes, "Hey, you're gonna throw out Hershey's Kisses tonight." And I went, "What?" And I looked around and was like, "Rebecca, thank God, that's brilliant. That's brilliant." And so now it's all part of the show now too.
You'd think Gene Simmons would have thought of something. Hey, we could get a Hershey endorsement. I mean,
Probably, you never know.
as much as you guys laugh at that, I really think, hey, somebody should reach out to Hershey Chocolate. Hey, we're Kiss tribute band. We do our show.
there's no way that Gene would have done it because he wouldn't have paid Hershey's any kind of deal.
No, I'm just joking, but
No.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Get back to your question. As far as what were you? Where were you going?
Well, Ken was talking too about the picks and the merchandise. So I was asking too about somebody wants to get that, like the picks, are they specifically made for individual shows? Can people go on a site and purchase that stuff?
Right now, they're just basically for individual shows. So if you come to a show, you're going to get a pick.
Yeah.
Or even come up to any one of us, and we'll get it handled for you.
I was asking too about the name Room Service. I love the fact that
that's where you're going. Yeah,
you chose like an early Kiss song that's not massive hit like Rock and Roll All Night or something like that, or Calling Dr. Love.
I don't know. I think I brought the name to Kenny, and I think I said, dude, what do you think about this, man? Yeah. I said, because because we were kind of throwing a whole bunch of different things around, and the name Room Service just sounded cool.
Yeah.
And of course, we do the song Room Service also, but just it was so cool, and it just kind of fit with everything that we were gonna do, and we're doing. There you go. See, look at that.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah.
When we first started talking about names, we threw a bunch of names around, and we said, whatever name we pick, it's got to have an S in it so we can have the lightning bolt.
Yeah.
So that was one of the priorities. But we tossed a lot of ideas around, and Room Service is a good name, and it's pretty well established now. if we went back in time, maybe we would have picked something that people
it works for you guys, but that's what I dig about it. It's not something that everybody else has heard of. It's not the obvious choice.
Right, right. And so we kind of have a little tag that we will often put after room service. We'll say Classic Kiss Unmasked, because it pretty much explains what we do. We play Classic Kiss right up through Dynasty. We have one Elder song. So we play, and then Classic Kiss Unmasked, and we're unmasked. So the difference with us is we show up without the makeup, but our fans come and put it on. So
Now,
they
that ought to be interesting.
Did you see that? Did you see that at Gardent, Jay?
Oh yeah, okay, that's another thing. I seen all the girls and all the them in the makeup, like all over and you were going up to them, and that's another part of the show I love, where you were just at that particular show going up the staircase, you were singing, and you're talking to all the fans up there.
Hey, it's all about having a good time, and I think including the people there who are there for a good time. I mean, come on, you know what? If we can give that to you for 45, 60 minutes, where you just kind of get to be that kid that you were in your room, especially guys our age. You know, where we didn't have what we have today. The touch of a button, and you get anything you want. We were the guys that grew up. We had to listen to the vinyl and get a visual until, you know, like Mike Douglas, Midnight Special, and all that stuff. So we want to give those people what they heard as a kid in their room, listening to these Kiss records, and just a good time, because you know what, if they're coming out, you know what, thank you so much for your time. Because they could be doing anything they want, but they want to come and see us.
And I got to tell you guys, besides, you know, you guys, you were great band to open the show that night. You kicked everybody's ass, and everybody that followed, you know, had to kind of follow you guys. But what's interesting about the show that night, I noticed, is most times when you go to a concert and it goes till, you know, this was over about, I think, 10 o'clock. But that being the case, because I think they have curfew in Garden Grove, but that being the case, you would expect as the night went on, that, you know, a lot of people would start to leave early. But what I noticed is it seemed like even more people than at the beginning of the show, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that it got to a point where the line, because you know they open doors at 4, and I've been to those shows, and I've been there where I've been in line waiting to get in, and the band's already going on. And so, and this is firsthand. This is from the people at the Garden Amp. They told me that the line was so long, and they hadn't seen a line like that. Thank God. And they said, you know what? We need to open the doors early. They said that line is almost was down the block.
It really was. Even when I got there at 4 o'clock, and I got to tell people the interesting thing about, like, you guys you really kicked ass, like I said, and so I stayed and watched your set. I want to see every band there, but I was going to go out and get some from my car when I left, and they tell me, no ins and outs. Once you come in, you got to stay. Okay, well,
that's true.
I don't want to miss the show, so I'm going to see all 4 bands. And we had, besides you guys, we had a great Poison tribute. I mean, they're like Poison from the early 80s when they first came out. Shot at Poison. They did a great job.
Cool guys.
And then they had a Stone Temple Pilots, I think it's called Stone Temple Revolver.
Cool guys.
That's cool.
Guys. And what you got with them is you get like, I guess it was mainly like kind of a Scott Weiland tribute. So they did Stone Temple Pilots, obviously, and Velvet Revolver, which I think is cool. And that makes them kind of stand out. And then they had Appetite for Destruction, my friend Gar Boris, who was the headliner. So you got a little something different from each band, and it made it like, even though the people laugh at it, oh, it was just a bunch of tribute bands, but a lot of the stuff, like, to me, is rock and roll theater, like you're saying, Mike. Guys getting dressed up, but it's more than just failed musicians, as many people think, playing other people's music. Because you're talking to a guy here, I can't play a lick on the guitar. I wish I could. You know, I wish I could get up. So I have all respect.
I'm a great air guitar player, right, Rob?
Oh, the best ever.
Well, you know what? Hey, Mike, see, you got
I'll make you think that I can play next to Eddie Van Halen. Seriously.
You're kind of the key ingredient, Mike. You
It's
know,
kinda
I mean, you got your boys backing you up here, but you're the lead singer and you're such a great frontman at what you do.
Thank
You're the
you.
only guy doing the singing, you know? They say, oh, we
Thank
got
you.
Mike.
Thank
We
you.
don't need anybody else.
Thank you. You
Well,
know, hey, I could not go up and do what I do without these guys.
I believe that. Yeah.
Seriously, seriously.
and
Because
it's interesting that, you know, one of the things that we struggle with, and we've struggled with it from the very beginning, is since we don't wear makeup, the people that are putting on the shows are like, a Kiss tribute without makeup? No,
You got to see us. You got to see us.
It's
that's our
very,
biggest fight. That's our biggest fight.
it's very, very, very difficult to get them to make the commitment. And Garden Amp has done it. We've played the Santa Fe swap meet. We played casinos, and even some of the other places, even some of the places we actually got into later on. They're like, oh, we got this other guy that does, you know, and they do the tribute. It's hard without the makeup. And usually, like at the Garden Amp, when we do a show and people see us and hear us, they're like, okay, we get it.
You guys are coming back. Yeah.
But getting in the door is tough. Really tough.
Let me ask you, Ken, you ever like get that kind of response from somebody where you're trying to get a show or something? And well, let me send you a video of one of our performances. And okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Right now, I'm trying to get us back into the Santa Fe Spring Swap Meet, but they already have their Kiss bands that they're dealing with, and we've already played there a few times.
Wow.
So it's just like, come on, you know, I mean, I've always told people, you know what, if you don't think that we can do it, just let us go do 3 songs, and I promise you're gonna love it.
Well, I
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, I can't believe it's time to be wrapping up you guys, because if we don't, the Zoom's just going to cut us off. But I really enjoyed doing this today, and I'd like
Thank
to
you.
invite you back because, you know,
Yeah, thanks.
I think we've only told half of the room service story. So if you would be up to coming back, let's kind of continue telling the story if you don't mind.
Sure, no problem.
Sure.
Thank you.
That sounds
And
great.
you know what? Thank you so much for your time. We
Yeah.
really appreciate it. You know.
I really
Yeah,
enjoyed
thank
getting to
you.
know you guys. And let me just say this before we do wrap it up. You just let me know when you have another free day like you did, Ken, and we'll set it up like we did.
Okay.
There's no deadline. We can do it when you have the downtime, okay? And let's keep this going until you don't want to do it, because I think we're just getting the story out, if you know what I mean.
Thank you. Hey, by the way,
what-
March 23rd at Bees in Long Beach, we're playing. It's my birthday show, and we'll be there March 23rd. We got some friends opening up for us, Rise and Elijah. And we got a special guest coming out, and we got a special band closing the show. So March 23rd, formerly Boomers, which is called Bees.
Okay.
If you want to come and get your Kiss on, then come out.
I will be there. You know why? Because let me tell you,
Come
my
out.
friend, you're gonna be surprised. You know where I live? Long Beach.
I live in
All
Bellflower.
right.
I used to be home grounds too, but I've been a Long Beach boy all my life. So thanks, you guys. I definitely be in touch with that.
Yeah. So you know, come out, man. We'll take care of you, and it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a blast.
Thank you so much, Mike, and the rest of you guys. We'll do this again, I promise. And this will be
You got
going
it.
up next week. I'll let you know.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Anytime. It's
All right,
my
cool, man.
pleasure.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care, bud.